Hello again friends, welcome back. This video is going to be a little off track to usual. I put out a call on Instagram asking for your questions about my hair. I figured I'd make a video to get all the questions out in one place, and that way you've got something to refer to in future if you've ever got questions. Some of these questions were kind of expected and some of them were really interesting. And so I'm kind of excited to do this one. So let's have a look at question number 1. How long is it actually? Okay, so how long is my hair actually? I had my husband measure it for me yesterday, the day before, can't remember, recently. And my hair is 126 centimeters from crown to tip, which really makes me feel short because that is like 75% of my height. So yeah, basically when I'm wearing shorts or anything like that, and or a short skirt or whatever it is, if my hair is out, it actually tickles like the back of my legs and it's really irritating. I absolutely hate the feeling of that because it feels like I've just got like a loose hair that's stuck somewhere, and I need to try and find it, but then of course I move my hair and it's not there anymore. So as I'm walking, like it's just brushing the back of my knees and it's just annoying. So I generally try to make sure my hair is at least in a plait, because the plait actually reduces the length a little bit to make it a little more manageable and bearable. Alright, next question. How do you take care of it? Alright, so I have to preface this with the fact that my hair is not all that thick. It's sort of like a medium thin kind of weight. So it's not all that difficult. And it's pretty straight. Like it looks like it's got a bit of frizz to it at the moment. That's because my hair was in a plait overnight. So it sort of gets a bit of a wave to it. But it's actually pretty dang straight. So to take care of it, I have a condition with my scalp that actually means I need to wash it every 2 to 3 days with anti-dandruff shampoo, and then I follow that up with conditioner. But it's not like I use any leave-in treatments. I don't do anything special with it. It's just an anti-dandruff shampoo, and I just do it in the shower like anyone else washing their hair. But things that I don't do to my hair is I don't own a hairdryer, so I never blow dry my hair. I don't curl it with a curling iron. I don't have a hair straightener. Not that I need a hair straightener because my hair's already straight. So like my hair doesn't get any heat damage, and I stay the heck out of the sun as much as I can, so no sun damage. What else? Oh, and I don't really alter my hair color either. So this brown color that you see, that's my natural hair color. If you ever see it like slightly darker in videos, it's probably because it's wet. So I've not long had a shower or something like that. But yeah, the last time I dyed my hair was... It was only a rinse actually, so one of those like 8 wash rinses. It was this beautiful autumn sort of reddish brown colour, but that was only a rinse, and that was about 5 or so years ago, so it's a fair while now. So yeah, my hair doesn't really get damaged from hair dye either, so just generally do nothing. Alright, how do you wear your hair at night to minimize knots? Pretty much the same thing I do during the day. I just leave it in a plait. Provided I brush my hair out like I am now, first thing in the morning before I start doing anything else. There's minimal knots, provided I just leave it back in a plait. I do sort of get those shorter hairs at the front that will come loose and it'll be a bit frazzly, but otherwise, yeah, just leave it in a plait. or two plaits. Whatever I've had on during the day, really. I'm too lazy to do a different hairstyle just for the night. How often do you trim? Well, honestly, I don't. If I see the odd split end or whatever here and there, I will like take a pair of scissors or snips or something and I will cut that single hair. I'll cut it back to beyond the damaged end. But that's about it. I don't actually go to a hairdresser, or I don't, do it myself. It's just left to grow pretty much, and I only deal with the split ends as I see them. I don't normally go looking for them, which I probably should, but I don't. I just don't. How do you deal with people telling you to cut your hair all the time? This question struck me as a little bit odd because I actually have the opposite that happens. I get people telling me I'm not allowed to cut my hair. And I think this might be a little bit of a cultural thing, like different countries have different views towards hair and hair length and things like that. So some countries will probably hold long hair up as like a standard of beauty, that this is a thing that's expected, particularly of women. Whereas some other countries might look down upon it as sort of a vanity thing. They might see you as greedy, as this person mentioned in their question, that people act as though it's a greedy thing to keep long hair. And I think, one, of all the things to be greedy about, having your own hair be long, you're not hurting anyone else. You're not enforcing your style on someone else. You're not hurting anyone. So why not have the hair go as long as you can get it? There's nothing wrong with that. But also, other people telling you what to do with your hair or what not to do with your hair, I think it's them projecting onto you. It's, if they're telling you you have to cut your hair, they're probably just jealous that either they can't grow it that long, or they're projecting whatever they've internalized from their society. They're just projecting on you. And it's the same with people who tell me I'm not allowed to cut my hair. As much as, some people come from a place of good intention, they don't get a say in what I do with my hair. And they don't get a say in what you do with yours. And look, if someone came up to me threatening to cut my hair, I'd call the police on them. Or I'd start filming them so I had that evidence, because that's not okay. They're not allowed to do that. But I also understand that response may not be right for your situation, so I'm sorry I can't be more help. But they're just projecting either their own insecurities or their internalized societal pressures on you. It's got nothing to do with you, and it's all about them. Yay, ready for the day. But we have more questions. How do you handle frizz? This is not one that I actually have to deal with a lot. I don't really get frizz. I do get those flyaways that I mentioned earlier. So like if I've been working particularly hard, if my hair's particularly dry, or if I've been sleeping, those shorter bits that don't actually stay all the way back, particularly the bits sort of around the front of my face because they don't grow as long, they'll sort of escape. But other than that, I don't really get frizz. So unfortunately, I can't offer you any advice on that one. Sorry. What's the most ridiculous thing you've been told to do with your hair? I can't say I've had many ridiculous requests, like absurd requests. Although this will tie into another question that I know is on here. I've had some unusual encounters. But in terms of ridiculous requests, they're probably just the suggestions that I dye my hair really ridiculous colors. Like one person suggested I could go through the whole rainbow from crown to tip and it would be quite a statement, which is cool, but at the same time, That's a lot of maintenance. And I think we've already established I'm pretty lazy with my hair, so I can't be bothered. How long have you been growing your hair? Alright, so the last time I had a sort of shorter than shoulder length haircut was about 2005. So 15 years ago now. That makes me feel really old. To be honest though, that haircut was actually against my will. That's a whole other video we don't need to go into right now, but yeah. So my hair was cut shorter than shoulder length. And I've basically, not cut it since. That's my rebellion. Okay, so this is the weird question. Is having long hair a kink thing? Well, I'm not really down for kink shaming per se. No, my hair has nothing to do with kink. I am not kinky. I am very happily a plain, vanilla, asexual individual. So vanilla that is basically water, as my friend has said. I have had encounters with individuals who tried to get me involved with their long hair kink. I am so not okay with being dragged into that involuntarily. But yes, it's not a kink thing. Definitely not. Why do you grow your hair so long? Why do you not cut it? Well, the reason I think is twofold. One, you can do a lot of really cool things with long hair. Lots of really nifty, snazzy hairstyles, particularly a lot of sort of 18th, 19th century hairstyles. I could probably do earlier, 17th if I wanted to, but there's a lot of product involved in that, and again, I'm not down for doing too much work with my hair. But on that note too, I'm also too lazy to have a shorter hairstyle. Because if you want a nice looking hairstyle that's shorter, you've got to maintain it and you've got to do stuff with it. And I just can't be bothered. Do you find that it gets in the way? I mean, yeah, but only as much as clothing gets in the way. I gotta make sure that it doesn't get shut into the car door, but that's the same as what I would do with the skirts of my dress. I don't really see it as being any more inconvenient than that. If I'm using power tools, I've got to make sure that it's out of the way. But again, I would make sure that I haven't got any stray clothing that's going to get caught into a power tool or anything like that. It's no more inconvenient to me than that. Do you sit on it? Well, yeah, all the time. But it's long enough that it's not pulling every time I do it. Like, I can sit on the ends and not know I'm sitting on it. If my partner sits on it though, however, I definitely notice that. And he lays on it in bed all the time. All the time. I'll be woken up in the middle of the night because he's rolled over and just landed on my hair. I love him. But dang. Does it get in the way when you use the toilet? Does your hair get in the way? Why did you think that was a thing to ask? Do you have any tips for doing your hair as a Viking? Well, I know that there are other YouTubers out there that are doing fantastic recreations of potential Viking age hairstyles based on iconography, like statues and jewelry and bits and pieces that have been found, and the standing stones. I personally, you may have noticed by now, basically do either a single plait, such as this one here, or I do the twin plaits, and that's it. I'm really not that experimental. The only tip I can really give you is make sure you do your hair before you put on your brooches. Try and brush your hair, particularly if you've got the tortoise brooches that have got the little bosses that have been pinned onto them. Do not try and do your hair after you've put your brooches on. It will snag and get caught in everything, and that's never fun. So that's all the questions that I was given for this particular video. If you have other questions that I didn't answer in this video, leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them for you there. Or if there's enough, I might make a part 2 of this video. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who did jump onto Instagram and respond to my post. I will be doing more of that sort of stuff over on Instagram, so don't forget to follow me there. And just thanks everyone in general for being here and being part of this fun journey. I'm really enjoying it. That's all I have for today though. Bye for now.